On this episode of Truck Video Tuesday, we are wet sanding and polishing the hood. I'll have to check, but I think the last video I posted about this was me dotting on filler and maybe spraying it with primer, but I don't remember. It's been a while. I've slept since then. So if you look at this part where the light is, it doesn't look bad, honest, really. And then if you look at the reflection of the stickers, it doesn't look bad either. I mean, it actually looks, pretty good. It's got a little bit of streaks going on. Yeah, so that was a damp cloth, and then this is a dry cloth. I want to say the problem with raw clear coat is that it's kind of easy to scratch. Let's put it that way. So because it's not smooth, there's like little ripples in it, and you'll get dirt particles in the ripples. And then like when I'm moving my fingers across, you can leave marks that are in the clear coat. And I know what you're saying, well then don't do that. But what's going to happen at the first car show? Somebody's going to put their big butt against it, and the jean material is going to leave scratches all over it. So we've talked about edges before. We had to be careful on the edges. This thing, I don't want that pad bumping up against it, so I'm going to tape it off. So there's little fisheye, right? So what happens is a little dirt particle was under here, and it didn't allow the paint to flow out smooth. Bug touch down here. They got away. So, I mean, even if you're okay with this, then that's fine. Just hit it with the buffer and move on. And what I'll do is I'll buff right there where the Vic Auto Sports is. And so this green scratch pad is the firmest or the deepest cut. And then this Meguiar's 110 is the heaviest cut. So it's been wiped down. I like to work it into the pad instead of smearing it, just because you get less throwaway shit. And then this is dual action orbital. So this spins, and then it spins inside there, and it goes like this. You know what I mean? The other kind is the single spin, and you put the lamb's wool looking thing on there, and I guess I want to say it's all about what you're used to or comfortable with. Whether you can burn through with this or the high speed is about the same. It depends on, how thick your clear coat is, how thick your paint is. So this is a clear over color. If you're working on something like a Fiat Spider or the X19 that's a single stage paint with no clear coat, you can do this as well. I've made those videos before too. On the blue Fiat especially, there's a whole playlist on paint. So y'all take a look at those. But the procedure is the same. You just have to be careful not to burn through, because when you do, then you got to respray. So I like to wet sand it first, but I'm gonna go without wet sanding right here, and we'll see how it looks. And then I'm gonna wet sand it anyway. Does it look any different in there? Huh? Yeah, a little bit. But it's still kind of wavy. Don't drop your rags. So when you drop your rag, it gets dirt all over it. So this doesn't touch paint anymore, because that's a little shiny piece of metal. And you can sit there and pick them out, but you won't get them all. So new rags out of the box, out of the bag. This one hadn't hit the floor yet, and this is my water rag. Everybody has their own method, okay? You just have to find what works for you. I'm going to say that starting with 2,000 grit sandpaper is fine. You don't have to start with 1,000 or 1,500. Especially if you're, well, no, just period. Just do 2,000. Everything else is pretty aggressive on paint. So 2,000, it's going to scratch it, but it's not going to put deep scratches into the paint. And the more shallow the scratches are, the less work you do with the buffer. So there's less material taken off. There's less chances of you ruining the paint or burning through the clear coat into the paint or burning through the paint into the primer if it's single stage. Like on the Spider cars, just hit it with the buffer, with the 110, or you know, something like that. The green pad, heavy cut pad, and a heavy cut compound. You don't even need sandpaper. I need sandpaper on this because there's spots that got to get knocked down. So wet rag, dry rag, and then this is just water with a little Dawn dish soap in it. And then this is 2,000 wet dry, and I'm not using pressure, just, you know, holding my hand on there and making swirls. You can go straight if you like. So here's what I'm talking about. You can see that now. Let me think about that. You can see this better because I put some sandpaper over it. But you can see this one, this one, this one, and then there's little bitty ones over here. These will disappear with some polish. This one will too, but stay where you're at and I'll show you. I'm not pushing, I'm just holding. And you don't want to get too close to that edge with the sandpaper. I mean, you're going to get it in eventually, but the more you have to spend time on the edge with the buffer, the worse, the more likely your chances of putting a big white mark on it. So we went from a big fish eye with a small dot to like just a round fisheye looking circle thingy. And then that one's still there. But we're close on this one. And I think it was right here. I remember these two. So when I do the edge, we're going to be a little bit more careful. Not that we're not being careful right now, but you'll see. And then as we go forward, I switch to this one because there's less tinkering like this and less hot spots. And if it sounds like there's a piece of dirt under there, there is. Wipe it off and start over. So right here is a groove where this lip rolls up and then hits like this. Don't sand in the groove. You're going to be tempted to, but don't, because you can't get your buffer in there and it ain't going to come out. I know it looks like I ruined it. I didn't. I promise. But these were my wet rags for wet sanding. Put them in a baggie. And then you can use them on the next panel. Or you can get new ones. So I switched your view, made it whiter. Don't sand on the edges. You'll spend too much time with the buffer over there, and then this corner will turn white because you're going to burn through the clear coat, you're going to burn through the paint, and you're going to be touching primer. It'll blend. See how I did over here? And then back here. And then along the edge. I didn't roll it all the way in there because you won't be able to get your tool in there. The board is for support, so I can get a little push. So pick a spot. I'm going to pick this spot. Watch this. So that's it. We're done polishing the hood. The next thing we'll do to the hood is put a coat of wax on it, but that can wait. I will give you a close-up. So this is something that'll disappear with wax. It's just a minor, we needed to buff that a little bit longer. Well, we're going to yellow and 210. How's that? Compressors whisper quiet. Let's see if it went away in the camera view. Went away in my eyeball view. Yeah. So a lot less time spent with the next phase, which is the 210, because we did all the work in the beginning. The last thing we'll do is, once it's like completely together, we'll have to wash it because there's going to have dust all over it. And then we'll hit it with the regular wax, like carnauba wax, something like that. And, you know, the carnauba will fill in tiny scratches and, you know, help it polish. But that's it. I want to say that was 2 or 3 days worth of work, 2 or 3 shifts. That's a lot, don't get me wrong. But, you know, the before and after is worth it. I'll put it in a before. So if you look at this part where the light is, it doesn't look bad, honest, really. And then if you look at the reflection of the stickers, it doesn't look bad either. I mean, it actually looks, you know, pretty good. And then here's the after. If I move this camera just right, you can see Vic Autosport's reflection from the garage, from the reflection up on top of the garage door. So that's what, 10 feet away? Maybe 12? That's not bad. Is it perfect? No. Perfection is an illusion. Just, you know, do the best you can. There's always going to be an imperfection somewhere. Try not to let it destroy your whole day. Just work around it and keep going. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.